It's a great day to be great, and welcome to the 2024 Positivity Series. I am happy to be back once again to share with you and inspire, empower, and help you grow for 2024 through our expert guests that we have for this year's series. And today, our simple title is Positivity in Your Career and Positivity in just your job search. So we have had a lot of inboxes, people saying, how can I do better when looking for a job? What are my skills? What skills are in demand? All those questions are going to be answered during today's podcast because we have a young man who has the science behind the job search. So, we do things sometimes, we say, hey, we'll follow the spirit. Yes, sometimes you need to also follow the science and pair the two together in order to come up with a successful outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jose Rego. Please greet the viewers.
Thank you, Nati. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I think 2024 is the year of truth. That's what I'm here to share with everyone.
I love it. I first met Jose at the 2023 career day by the government of Eswatini. Blew me away with some of the concepts that he was sharing in terms of skills matching, just knowing who you are and what skills you have and how they can help you find a job. But Jose, if they were to ask your brother or any sibling and ask them, what does Jose do? What would they say?
It's a good question because just when we were crossing over for New Year's, 2023 is last day. So I'm at a family gathering. It's just one of those catch-ups. And the question we were asking around is, what's your personality?
Okay.
And then, because I was doing the asking, my brother then turned to one of the cousins and said, that's his personality, asking questions. He's always the one asking people what they're about. But to just make it very practical, they've quite figured me out as the innovator in the family.
Okay.
So
the innovator.
Then it's like, okay, anything that's like problem solving or tinkering with something,
Lovely.
We expect him to be the one doing it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And then over the years, it's become technology innovator.
Wow.
So that's pretty much the dynamic I've been given at home, which if you think about it in most contexts, it's tend to be the most misunderstood at the same time. You have to explain now what you're innovating and how technology comes into the picture.
Innovation?
What's innovation? Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow, get your dictionaries out. It's going to be an interesting 15 to 20 minutes. I was reading Forbes and they were talking about what 2024 looks like in terms of skills.
Yeah.
These are the skills that employers are looking for in 2024. They are talking AI, they are talking data analytics, they are talking this thing where you do Python, what do you call that?
Data analysis and machine learning.
Machine learning.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this and I'm thinking, I for Eswatini, I couldn't ask Forbes. So can I ask you, what are the 5 skills you think are in demand in 2024 in Eswatini, contextually?
That's an interesting question because like you said, you can go through Forbes, go through Wall Street Journal, and you won't find the answer exactly. But I'll answer it in 2 ways, right? So the first one will be the technical answer, which is there's a study that the Ministry of Labor, in conjunction with ISEPAC, did in 2022. It's called the National Skills Audit. So that report does break down what kind of industries are, I think, to put it more tangibly, the most ripe for disruption or the ones that are most underutilized. You think of agriculture. I had a conversation with a friend earlier about agriculture and how it's so ripe for disruption, pun intended, that you find that the statistics say only 10% of the workforce is in agriculture.
Oh my goodness.
And yet when you scour the land, you find so much arable land in this kingdom that it's highly untapped. So you can't be living in a society when we're importing almost everything. Someone said yesterday, we're importing even water. But we have the resources here to make our own. So I'd say agriculture is the most critical one. And there's an irony with agriculture, which I hope I'll get to in a bit of a moment. So agriculture and then technology.
Okay.
Everything we're doing now, you're watching this through a technical medium. You're probably going to store it and share it to other people.
Yeah.
The technology behind those interactions we have businesses are all looking for data science and machine learning and intelligence. So that's where you now look into the technical fields. And then you have services. Our country does about 62% plus of the job market is in the services sector.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right. That's a huge, huge chunk.
I'm a consultant. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So, and that's the one that's like, it's most natural to the human. Like I can get up and do a service. When they ask you to do something, that's a service.
Yeah.
So the services sector is still the most ready for engagement. But now the challenge is we don't understand ourselves first. Right. So I can sit here and explain to you all these industries that are ripe for disruption. But if it's not aligning with your personality, it's as good as getting up in the morning to just go, I don't know, grind a gear you don't know how to grind. All right. So this is where the personality part comes into the conversation. The industries that are ripe for disruption are the ones that you can excel best in.
Okay.
Right. Let me explain that. We know about AI
Yeah.
and how it's a buzz thing right now. Everybody's talking about ChatGPT and all these new tools. The disruption that AI is bringing is not going to favor one industry over another. It will disrupt all industries.
Yeah.
You know, if you actually look into the study, there's one done by OpenAI that says just the US job market, about 20% of the jobs or the careers in the US right now, 50% of those will be automated
Okay.
by AI. That's American job market. They already know they're disrupting their own job market. We don't even feature in the conversation, and we're still trying to catch up.
Yeah, true.
So it's a big
Fourth
challenge.
Industrial, yeah.
Yeah. So my take on the best industries is the one that you can get up and say, even if AI is getting into it, I can still use AI to keep leveraging forward.
I do like how you raise the issue of the Ministry of Labor
Yeah.
survey. I think that's a document every young person has to get. Where is it accessible? Is it the government website only, or you can just type on Google? And
You can type on Google, but you can actually go to the ISEPAC website.
Okay, ISEPAC,
yeah, ISEPAC website. It's a great institution. It does a lot of the country's research. So for a lot of the context, they have some research about it.
Yeah, definitely a report. If you're on a job search and you want to see your skills and which industries, very comprehensive a document right there, and it's free. Just download it and it's on your phone, and it gives you a bit of a direction.
Yeah.
But then you also give direction. You have developed. Can you take us through this ingenious software that you developed and then ended up being in government? Just take us through that, because there's something called skills matching. So you've got a skill, but you can't match it with the industry you'd want to go into. Can you just take us through all that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll take a step back, because it's one thing to talk about the system now, but it matters more to understand where it comes from.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the step back is around 1970, there's a famous doctor called Dr. John Holland. So he's a psychologist and a career guidance therapist. He does a study, and he researches the kinds of personalities. It's not also an invention. It's like a continuous progression. The kinds of personalities that people have, right? You will be sitting here with different personalities, and so does everybody at home. Those personalities have a match to an industry. So there's the job market. Picture this as this is the personality of a person's personality, and this is the job market. What tends to happen is we have an overlap of personalities and the industry you're going into. An example is an introvert working on a public platform where they have to be extroverted, and they're not quite comfortable doing it. That's already a mismatch of personality and industry. So his study resulted in a tool called the self-directed search test.
Okay.
Right. It's based on the principle that there are 6 categories that each individual can fit into. The job market as well, or the occupations you can qualify for, have the similar 6 categories.
Okay.
Right. And these 6, they cover every aspect of what job you can do.
Okay.
So you've got the realistic category, which is all the manual skills, the technical and mechanical operations. If you use tools or use your hands, you're realistic. You've got the investigative, which is exactly right. You can also just picture for yourself. These are the problem solvers, the intellectual problem solvers. They like to do research. They like to do analysis and data. You've got the artistic, which is everyone who likes to express themselves. You've got the social. This is now the helpers in society.
Okay.
They want to go out and participate and interact with their communities. Then you've got the entrepreneurial. Obviously, that's like the sellers, the business makers, and the marketers. They are entrepreneurial. Then lastly, for the conventional.
Okay.
Conventional is the organized people that like to put things in order, the
Yeah,
accounting,
true. I've seen those. Yeah.
order and structure.
With the pen here.
So of the 6 categories, there is an industry that matches that category perfectly. Right. So the SDS test currently is being implemented by the Ministry of Labor's Measurement and Testing Unit. So there's a unit that does all these tests in the country for different demographics, high school, out of school.
How does that work? Or what are they doing?
So they currently, well, with the SDS, they will go to high schools and administer the test, paper-based, and get the students to understand where they fit into.
Okay.
Right. It's also along with the aptitude test.
Okay.
If you remember the aptitude, you took it, probably you at home as well.
Yeah.
I think every country does take aptitude to a degree. And then the point is to help the career guidance aspect of your
That
high
stage,
school
yeah.
guide you towards what career can you now focus on.
Okay.
You find oftentimes high school students don't know what they want to apply for when they finish. So this test then comes with the picture. Now the Ministry of Labor obviously goes as far as it can, being a government aid unit. Our interaction now is, how do we make this more practical to you? How do you sit at home and take the test yourself?
Yeah, that's what they are listening to and thinking, I'm past high school, but I want to take
I want to
this
do it
test.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we built a platform that automates and digitizes the whole testing experience. You go on your phone or your laptop or your computer and you just go on the link that we'll share in a bit. And you take the test by answering a series of yes or no questions.
Okay.
Right? And at the end of it, then it grades you automatically. When it grades you, the objective is to give you occupations that match your personality. Okay. So when that happens, you then have a plan of action for yourself. The career guidance teacher, your family members get involved, your HR consultants, your mentors look at that code and say, you are this personality, here's the job for you.
So would it have every category, receptionist to HS? Would it also have...
there's an interesting scenario we did during one of the tests in a high school, I think it's Stegi. The tester got some results and one of the results was babysitter.
Really?
Yeah. So, and then they looked at us and they said, how am I going to be a babysitter? And when you interpret this, it's like, it doesn't say you're destined to be a babysitter. It says your personality currently, not even currently. It's broken down by entry level to the job. So which means even if you don't get a degree, even if you don't finish high school, there's a breakdown of jobs that you can qualify for and excel in.
Interesting. It's a map.
It's a map. It's a whole roadmap. It's a strategy plan that you can apply to yourself.
So starting 2024, you would say to whoever's watching, get this, and it will sort of give you... And also, let's say you're already working, but you're working in the wrong thing that it doesn't fulfill you.
Absolutely.
So you'll be telling this automated machine, and it will guide you to your dream job or the one that is destined for your character.
Exactly.
Or skill set.
Or your skill set or your personality.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I think maybe I'm destined to be a videographer. I should be behind the scenes.
You've been watching a lot of this.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So how do they access it?
So there's a link. Okay, so at the moment, it's still in the beta stage. The ministry is going to launch it
officially. Beta being what? Because me...
Good question. Good question. So beta means it's cooked, but it's about to be delivered.
Okay.
So you can go to the kitchen and ask for a sample, and you get to try it out, and you can give feedback and say too salty or too sweet until it's ready to be delivered to the public. At which point the ministry will be able to launch it and say the whole country can access it anytime.
What can I use?
Right now you go to skillshub.umo.xyz. That's skills, plural, hub, one word, .ummo.xyz. Z for some accents. And then you just register and you can start taking the test in the comfort of your home. Take your time, be honest, assess yourself to see where you fit in.
Okay.
I think that's the takeaway from this.
All right, no, fantastic. It's very, very interesting. A way to start your year, knowing where you stand in terms of your skill set and which industries would suit you. Because
Absolutely.
you don't want to spend, you find other people saying, after 10 years, I finally discovered my love.
Yeah,
And my
yeah.
love is theater. Yet, had they taken this, they would have known their skill set. But generally, before we close, what prevails in Eswatini as the main skills or you did speak about services?
Yes. The services, I'd say the services in particular, because it's difficult to find a company that will hire. Like I think if you look at the recruitment process, our unemployment rate is so huge that you have a backlog of students that haven't, or graduates that haven't gotten jobs. If you go to the services, you allow yourself to be an agent of your own time and productivity.
Yeah.
Right. Freelancing is a great service. Find something you're good at, take the test, find a skill you can hone yourself, work on it, and then offer that as a service.
Just before I let you go, I'm just thinking about this thing. There's this whole online learning where you get new skills. Now you found that, you're destined to be a videographer. Well, what would you say about those online learnings and how can people tap into that?
It's an exploration. Just a short story I picked up right now. So I'm sitting at the back and I'm preparing to come this side on the set. And I hear a story about how, so I won't mention her name, but my makeup artist was telling me how she was doing a certain job for so long and she realized it wasn't quite where she wanted to be in.
Yeah.
When she pulled out of that job, she had to go now figure herself out. And it was a trial and error, right? But because she knew she wasn't where she had to be, she explored her options until she found the right thing for her.
Yeah.
Right. So to your question, if you know what you want to do by assessing yourself, it's easier to go online and find these things. You just search and eventually you'll get to it. Versus listening to everyone's advice, which will end up leading you nowhere.
Yeah.
Right. So just know yourself, have your own roadmap, explore, be inquisitive, and you land somewhere.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jose. This has been quite, it's a journey towards self.
Yes.
It's a journey towards the skill set within you. It's an exploration of trying to find who you are to be more effective in 2024.
Yeah.
And you cannot start the journey without first self-equipping.
Absolutely.
You have an opportunity to speak to the audience. You write a lot on LinkedIn and you share your views and your passion about seeing a skilled Eswatini, an Eswatini that has opportunities. And now young people are watching and they would like to hear what would be your words of advice for 2024. They're sitting there saying, what can I do? You know all these things. You go to all these schools. You interact with government. What would you like to say to us as we start the year?
I think the most important thing is to realize that, and I'll borrow a quote from a great philosopher, that everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb trees, then it'll live its entire life thinking it's dumb. I think it's important for us to figure out where our passions lie, in turn, just introspect and figure out where your passions lie and where your talents lie. Then you can explore that to find the genius in you. Otherwise, a lot of what we hear around and influence tends to lead us in all directions. Yeah. Find yourself, explore your truth. I think Cat Williams said it best. This is the year of truth. So I hope you find your truth. And if you need to have a follow-up, you can catch me on LinkedIn as well.
Thank you so much, Jose. Find your truth in 2024 and obviously look into yourself and really follow your passion. And so much of our positivity series has been talking to self. And the most powerful mantra or every behavioral scientist, motivational speaker, personal coach, they talk about mastering self. And today we've equipped you on how to master your skills, know your skills, how to find your skills, and how to then venture out there and make an impact in 2024. You can't go wrong. Do go onto that website. Do follow Jose on LinkedIn, and let's make the best of 2024. Thank you, and keep shining.